Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me. I didn't want to get this shoe at first, but then when I got the packaging open, I'm like, yo, I made a mistake. These are actually pretty nice. I'll go into depth about that. Let's take a look at the box and get right into the shoe. Another one of those boxes I keep telling you guys, I love when the brand gives us these boxes that are themed along with the shoe. As you can see, it has that graffiti writing on it saying they can't stop you from wearing them. This I come to dub the official neighborhood style. This is the neighborhood box. Size tag reads Air Jordan 1 Retro High OG, Vachetta Tan, Black, and Sale. Opening the top, there are absolutely some goodies in this box, and I'm not sure if they're put here by Jordan Brand or the boutique where I got them. Again, I'll explain in a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, I am beyond pleased to present to you the Air Jordan 1 Heirloom. As I said, first we're going to talk about the shoe, and then we're going to talk about the shoe. I use the word polarizing a lot, and this shoe is no exception. This shoe literally split the community one way or the other. Either you love it or you hate it. So it's not that the shoe is bad. It's just that the choice of materials and the timing either make this shoe a hit or a miss. Taking a look at the shoe, you have this Vachetta Tan hue in its reverse Chicago color blocking. Now reverse Chicago because typically you have the main color on the majority of the shoe with the other parts being filled in by typically white, but in this particular case, you're using black as a reverse colorway. Again, we get so fixated on how soft leather is that we mistake that for quality. But in this particular case, this shoe with the leather is kind of tough, at least not as tough as, let's say, the OG High Georgetowns, but it's a little bit stiffer than your standard Air Jordan 1, which is, I think, going to be a great thing in the long run. That with the black denim, again, that is one of the parts that really alienated a lot of people. The black denim on the shoe combined with that stiff leather. In actuality, that leather quality with this denim, I think, is going to make the shoe wear really well. Now, that denim is on the toe cap, on the tongue itself, and on the collar, as well as the mid-upper on the lateral and medial sides of the shoe. The Vachetta Tan, again, is on the toe cap, the eye stays, the collar, the heel, and the Nike swoosh. Rounding out that midsole is that Sail colorway with the Vachetta Tan radial traction pad. Nothing different about that. On the interior, you just have a black insole with the white Nike Air. And again, that tongue, foam pad wrapped in that full denim material. Tongue tag follows suit. Denim tongue tag with a denim stitched Nike Air logo. You'll notice that the ball and wings logo is embossed. However, it is not colored in with the tertiary color, this case being black or white, and it's just the body color, the same with Vachetta Tan. So overall, that is it for the composition of the shoe. The quality of it looks actually pretty amazing. I don't see any glue stains, any kind of tears, cuts, or rips. Some people do not like that on the actual denim part. It overhangs the upper collar a little bit, but such is the nature of denim. I mean, we just had a denim shoe with the Around the Way girls, and that may be what turns some people off, that the Around the Way girl shoe is the denim in its main parts, but the secondary parts of this shoe are denim. But like I said, I think this shoe will look a lot better and probably get better over time the more you break them in and wear them. A flat cotton lace comes standard, and in these two boxes, you have a red tie-dye or a red distressed faded and a purple distressed faded extra spare pair of laces. Now, if you guys watched my stealth video that I dropped the other day, I explained these new boxes. We no longer get lace bags. We have these two boxes that are sustainable, recyclable boxes as part of Nike and Jordan Brand's Move to Zero initiative. Good on them for wanting to save the environment. They have a goal to move to zero for carbon emissions and waste. Again, these boxes are recyclable. And listen, no more clear plastic bags. This is it. So as I mentioned earlier, this was a part of the neighborhood pack that I'm now calling it. That means this was a neighborhood drop. Now, we got two other neighborhood drops for the Jordan 1 this year alone, and you should be familiar with them by this point. We had the Air Jordan 1 Rebellionaire, and really a cult classic, the Air Jordan 1 Visionaire. As you can see from the similarity in these boxes, this is a pack. This is a they can't stop you from wearing them pack. The graffiti on the boxes, the similar writing, the way that these shoes released, they all have that in common. Again, the neighborhood pack they can't stop you from wearing. So what is a neighborhood drop? Well, I'm glad you asked. Nike, in their infinite wisdom, decided to adopt a DTC approach, which is a direct-to-consumer approach. So what they've done is taken some inventory away from your big box stores like your Champs, your Foot Locker, and your Finish Line, and allocated it towards smaller mom-and-pop boutiques. And they do that in an effort to create a new experience that will get the consumer involved with trying to get the shoe directly into their hand. So shoes are hard enough to grab as it is, but none of these shoes were released on the Sneakers app. And that's right, ladies and gentlemen, this one will not be released on the Sneakers app. And initially that was very frustrating for me because I really wanted to have this shoe and I had a hell of a time trying to track it down. A lot of times, especially if you live in small cities or even bigger cities where you just don't know where your boutiques are located or if they even exist, it's going to be pretty difficult to find a location where you can cop these shoes. So thankfully, Nike decided to remedy that. And on the Sneakers app, under the splash page for the Vachetta Tan, aka the Heirloom, they went ahead and put the list of neighborhood locations for you to find one that's closest to you. So I don't want to get into calling a shoe limited. It's just harder to come by. But if you put the footwork in, again, go to that splash page on the Sneakers app, find the one look closest to you. There should be plenty of these out there floating around. Now going back to the shoe, why is this shoe called the Heirloom? And the truth of the matter is I don't know. Now an heirloom is typically something that you can pass on from generation to generation, be it jewelry, be it money, items, things that are sentimental or have financial value to you or to potentially your family. As an example, one day I hope to pass these shoes on to my son and hopefully he wears a size 11 and boom, they'll be his. So when you take a look at this particular shoe, the colorway, the material, it has a regal kind of look to it. It has a very polished and distinguished look to it. It looks like a grown person's shoe, very mature. And I can see it being part of the heirloom kind of family, something that you want to pass down from generation to generation. That being said, one of the best things about the neighborhood drops are the way that the stores choose to roll them out. When Nike and Jordan Brand decide where to allocate their shoes, they send them to the neighborhood stores and basically let the neighborhood stores have their way with their own rollout. So once the neighborhood stores get their allocation, they can choose to release the shoes early or have some kind of raffle. They can do in-store events. And a lot of it has been really, really dope. So in this particular case, I got this shoe from a store in Columbus, Ohio called Soul Classics, which brings me to the goodies that are inside the box. Let's go ahead and take a look at them right now. So in all honesty, I've not seen a single YouTube video or review about these shoes. Everything I've seen has been Twitter or Instagram pictures, and I seldom see, if I've seen any at all, any of these little tidbits or goodies with those pictures. So if you take a look at this is a pretty nice little decal, and I can't be sure again if this comes from Soul Classics themselves or if Nike and Jordan Brand actually made up these decals for every individual neighborhood store. And again, I'm not sure because I haven't seen anybody post from other stores. I know in my own city of Orlando, the Trophy Room has them, and a store I had never heard of called either Men's Clothing or Men's Classic has these drops. But again, in this particular case, we have here what almost looks like a boarding pass. We have this cool little barcode, possibly some kind of city codes, little stuff like that. The name of the shoe called the Heirloom with this barcode down here. Oh, and of course, the location to Soul Classics themselves, which is 846 North High Street, Columbus, Ohio, 43215. And as you can see there, limited access. Now again, with this decal being so specific to this store, there must be, 50 stores in the neighborhood drop. I was wondering, did Nike and Jordan Brand really go through all the effort to print out 50 different, decals for all those stores times however many pairs have been released? I'm not quite sure, but stay tuned, check other YouTube channels, check around on the internet and see if anybody has anything like this. If not, shout out Soul Classics for the presentation. Again, potentially another Soul Classics exclusive. We have this booklet, this pamphlet here that talks about the Heirloom. And once you get inside, this is really dope. And again, this is kind of the essence of the neighborhood drops. There are some really nice visuals in this book, and it also highlights and puts the spotlight on some really dope young artists. And each artist, they do have an individual QR code that when you scan it with your phone, it will take you through their individual story and tell you about what they're all about, what their art and how they got into sneakers. I think that's amazing and a great opportunity to showcase these young people with this drop. And that's one of the benefits of the neighborhood launches. In the back of the book, there's also a weekend to remember, which was all of the events that took place during the weekend of this drop. And lastly, on the back, that QR code is the same QR code that's on that decal I showed you earlier. And this links you to the Air to Air website. And again, that's the same kind of thing where it has all of the splash pages of all of the artists and really just dope little thing to get these people out and known. And again, listen, I said I love my people. Look at the faces of the people that they are highlighting. The neighborhood drops, beautiful. Now, for some of you who are going to complain about the neighborhood drops, trust me, I get it. But be advised, probably the most coveted sneaker coming in November, the Air Jordan 1 Lost and Found Chicago Reimagined, is going to be dropped just like this. We hope there's a sneakers release. Now, back to the shoe. Recently on the internet, you've probably seen a lot of comparisons. For all you color theorists out there, listen, we get it. We know this is tan. We know it's not yellow. We know it's not orange. We know it's closer to a brown. We know that it is not the taxi. We know that it is not the pollen. And yet, you're gonna see these 3 shoes compared the most online. Now, if you really think about it, again, these were all drops that came out this year. In addition to that, times are a little bit tough. This shoe is one of the most coveted ones of the year. So now people are having to decide, do I wanna buy this shoe and this shoe? Do I need this shoe and this shoe? Do I have enough money for all 3 of these shoes? So if you have the pollen, you may opt to skip the heirloom. If you don't want the heirloom, you probably want to get the taxi. I mean, the quality materials are good on that. Check my review about that. But listen, I mean, essentially, this is your options. Now, I'm fortunate enough to be able to have all 3 of these shoes, and each shoe serves its purpose. Add to that, another direct comparison is one of my favorite shoes in my collection, the Air Jordan 1 Rookie of the Year. I mean, there you go. You can see that these are very, very similar, except one having that traditional Chicago color blocking, and this one having the reverse Chicago color blocking, as I mentioned earlier. Different shoes for different purposes. I know if it rains, which one I'm opting to pull out. So again, guys, take a look at all 4 of these shoes. Take a look at them side by side by side by side, and let me know down in the comments which is your best to least favorite shoe. And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, a little bit of a heads up about these particular 2 shoes. The Heirloom, the Taxi, and the Women's Starfish that is coming out, I think, next month, are the last 3 shoes of the Jordan 1 Remastered version 1 program. Take a look at the shoe as it currently exists. Starting with the Lost and Found dropping in November, that will mark version 2 of the Jordan 1 Remastered. So you can expect a different size ball and wings logo, I think a slightly larger swoosh, a different toe cap shape, and I think as well as a different heel shape if I'm not mistaken. In addition to that, I think the midsole may be a little bit thicker or thinner. I can't be short this time, but this is it. This is the last of the Air Jordan 1 that you have come to know and love. So be prepared to have a different shape come Lost and Found going forward. And that's pretty much all I have for the Air Jordan 1 Vachetta Tan, aka the Heirloom. I do think it's a nice shoe. I think it's a complimentary piece. I'm glad to have it as part of the neighborhood drop pack. Again, be advised, neighborhood drops are going to become a lot more common, so get used to loving them. So what I'm about to do right now is I'm going to go outside, put these guys on feet, give you the lace swap, give these guys a TLC they deserve, and maybe I can spur your mind. Check it out. Let me know what you think about these shoes. So again, do yourself a favor. Go to the Sneakers app, log in, and go to the splash page for the Heirlooms. Familiarize yourself with the neighborhood stores. They may be your best chance to cop some high heat, and maybe your only chance to get some of the biggest drops that we've seen thus far. That's all I have right now, guys. As I always say, there will be more shoes on the way. I'm always gonna give you guys the every man's review. And again, I'm not gonna tell you to buy something that I wouldn't buy personally. And if it's just okay, I'll let you know. But if it's special, just like this one is, I'll tell you the same. Again, here's the On Foot. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you guys for sticking in there. Let me know if these other boutiques and other neighborhood stores are coming with these little goodies. All right? You guys take it easy until the next one. I'm out of here. That's, oh, the original cut. There it absolutely is. I might like it better than the 2020 version. Those ones right, and I had to have it.